Last week, we got the mid-year rankings or the mid-year awards for the UFC, for MMA. I figured I would put my take in on it in what I thought would be the KO of the year, what I thought would be the submission of the year. If you do want to put input and you're new to the channel or you just have something that you want to say, go ahead and put it in the comments, like and subscribe per usual. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys what I think, but we'll start out with the KO of the year. They did give to Mauricio Hoofy in his brutal KO over Bobby Green or King Green, which, you know, I mean, it was a disgusting KO, you know, but from my perspective, and again, you guys can flame me in the comments, you can say whatever it is that you want down below. Circumstances tell a lot in terms of these kinds of awards. In my prediction video, I said Mauricio Hoofy is going to brutally finish Bobby Green in the first round. The way I see this going is I think Mauricio Hoofy is going to finish him brutally in the first round. Bobby Green's chin is too high, man. I didn't know it was going to happen by fucking wheel kick, but still, who didn't see this coming? Who didn't see Bobby Green's face getting smeared across the canvas? It was gonna happen, you know? That kind of docked some points for me. Like, we knew he was gonna get slept. We knew it was gonna, he fights with his hands down, and Mauricio Hoofy's a sniper. It was gonna happen. So the other possibilities, you could say Ilia Topuria, because circumstance wise it is like a borderline super fight, and Ilia just colded him in 2 minutes. I was on the verge of tears and I don't want to talk about it. My third candidate would be Jusang Yu's KO over Jeka Seregi. Jeka Seregi sucks. We all know he's like borderline retarded. But Jusang Yu, he didn't have very many fights on his record. He was coming into the UFC and people were like, eh.
Jeka Seregi versus Jusang Yu. I have a take about this one. Jusang Yu, I want some... I've been looking into this guy. He's not all that.
Me in my prediction video, I said this guy's gonna sleep Jeka Seregi. I think I picked later in the fight, but when you make the guy literally go face first, they're showing the guy's like family members in the crowd as he's walking out, and then you stiff board him and he goes face first into the canvas and doesn't get up for like 5 minutes. Like, his whole head snapped to the side. He goes stiff as a board and like goes down to smell his own nutsack and just goes face first in the canvas. That's my KO of the year. Circumstance wise, a lot of people on at least MMA YouTube thought that Jusang Yu was just beating up on cans and he wasn't going to be as good as people thought he was. And then he went out and did that. Like, we knew Ilia was going to probably knock out Charles. We knew Mauricio Hoofy was going to knock out Bobby Green. From my perspective in this circumstances, Jusang Yu was a big favorite, but I saw a lot of people saying that he was overrated. How long did the fight last? It was 28 seconds into the fight and he stiff KO'd him in front of his family.
One more time, look at this. Bing! Oh, that was beautiful.
And he didn't get up. He was just sitting on the floor, unconscious, just like sniffing and licking the canvas, unconscious, for like 5 minutes. That's cool. That's the type of shit that makes me watch this sport. Same with Mauricio Hoofy and the Ilia Topuria knockout, but from a circumstance perspective, I think that that's cooler. After that, we'll move on to submissions. The Merab submission over Sean O'Malley. A lot of people thought that giving Sean O'Malley another 25 minutes to land a bomb was dangerous for Merab, and he didn't give a fuck. He went out there and north-south choked him, and I believe it was a reverse ninja choke. And it's a title fight, so you have to kind of give these title fights a little bit more value. I understand that, but the Gene Silva and Bryce Mitchell submission, that's another good candidate, because again, circumstances make the story here. There was a lot of shit that was talked, and then Gene Silva just went out there and dominated. He landed a wheel kick at one point. He stuffed I think he stuffed every takedown, which, by the way, I did call this, not to toot my own horn, but I did say that the fighting nerds defend their takedowns with threats, like elbows to the side of the head. They'll pull guillotines, or they'll pull a darce. They'll pull a ninja choke. I called that, just saying. I said that they do that, and there was a chance it would happen. That's another candidate. The last one is I put in the Gabriel Bonfim, which I know he's in some hot water right now over that fight with Wonderboy, because I thought he lost. The Gabriel Bonfim submission over Chaos Williams. I believe it was a darce or an anaconda of some sort. Bonfim let go of the choke, and it looked like Chaos Williams was dead. It was terrifying. I mean, that's definitely got to be on there. But for me, if I had to pick between these three, I would say that the Gene Silva and the Bryce Mitchell one is my favorite, and I think that it's the best. Again, circumstances. For one, they're both talking shit the whole time. Then we get into the fight. Bryce Mitchell is the grappler here. I had Gene Silva by TKO. I didn't know that he was actually going to get a submission. And he pulls a ninja choke, and he chokes him out against the grappler. He's supposed to be the striker, and he choked out the grappler. That's ridiculous to me. Again, you guys can tell me what you think. If I missed a fight or something, I researched this a little bit, but you can tell me if there's another fight that I missed. That's my favorite submission of the year. And then we'll move on to fighter of the year. It's really between two people. It's between Joshua Van and Merab. They've fought the most out of anybody, really. And I threw Kayla Harrison in there anyways, too. Prior to her title fight with Juliana Pena, who sucks, by the way. She's not good. It doesn't look like she's hit pads once in her life. I threw her in there just because prior to the title fight, she's had 2 fights in the UFC, and it's impressive enough just to, like, she ran through the division in 3 fights. Like, it was, you know, it's cool enough. Just throw her in there. Not like she has a chance to win over Merab and Joshua Van, but Merab beat Umar back in January, and then obviously he just choked out Sean O'Malley on June 7th. And then Joshua Van fought on March 8th. He beat the shit out of Ray Tasuria, and then he fought on June 7th, and he brutal masterclass against Bruno Silva. And then obviously, as of recent, the Brandon Royval fight, which he is literally dominated and won in spectacular fashion in all of his fights. In my eyes, because I am gonna ride Joshua Van, and I'm sorry, because he's probably one of my top 3 favorite fighters right now. He's my fighter of the year. I don't care. And a lot of that does play into the fact that I'm not the biggest Merab fan, but you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna ride, dude. I'm gonna ride when I can.
Hey, yo!
No Jones. Well, I mean, how can that? Yeah, never mind. I think Joshua Van's just so cool, man. I have to. I'm sorry. But anyways, moving on from that, we've got the fight of the year. Fight of the year candidates. The one that everyone's going to point to is the Brandon Royval Joshua Van fight, because it probably is going to be the fight of the year even at the end of the year, because it was just pure chaos the entire time. The other candidates, Bilal Muhammad versus JDM. It was a good fight, but I mean, it was kind of a mauling, to be honest. I had it 49-46 JDM. I saw some 50-45s out there, and I see a lot of people, oh, credit to Bilal for making it entertaining and not shooting a takedown. Dude, he shot 9 takedowns, and he couldn't do anything with them. There's no, oh yeah, he did a good job striking, Bilal. He did the same thing that he does in all his other fights. He just couldn't take him down, and when he did, he couldn't do anything with it. Anyways, I'm sick of seeing that narrative out there. It was a good fight, because when was the last time you saw a boring JDM fight? And then a little bit of a dark horse pick. I put Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mata. It was awesome. For people who don't know what happened in that fight, Nazim Sadikov was up against the fence, like rolling with shots, like back, forth. Nicholas Mata was basically just throwing hooks at him against the cage, and borderline had Nazim Sadikov out on his feet, and the fight almost got stopped. Nazim Sadikov recovers somehow. I don't know how the he recovered. In the tide starts to turn a little bit, and Nazim Sadikov lands a bunch of shots and then lands a bomb up against the cage and puts Nicholas Mata out. It was a awesome fight, and it ended in a finish too, and it wasn't even 3 rounds. We were halfway through the fight, and it was a war. Credit to these guys. I think that's definitely up there. But I can't even dispute, like, if you have something to say about this the fight of the year, and you say anything other than Brandon Royval Joshua Van, I want what you're smoking. Actually, I don't, because that would be fucked up. If your thought process is no, that's not fight of the year, then you need to see a medical professional, because I don't know what you're watching. Yeah, that's my mid-year, what's it called? Mid-Year MMA Awards, Mid-Year UFC Awards. Pretty cool. I've got a few videos coming out this week for you. Like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for those. UFC 318 later this week too. Stay tuned for that as well. I will see you guys around. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.